at MetLife Stadium. DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys sat at his locker and asked a reporter how many sacks they had against the Giants. When told it was 7, he shook his head and said, dang. He said the Cowboys wanted 9. He even brought up the NFL record for sacks in one game, 14. Behind him, a teammate could be heard
14.
going Oprah, as in, you get one, you get one, you get one. Whoa. Michael Irvin, are you sure our Cowboys aren't getting a little too full of themselves a little too soon?
Michael Irvin is high on life right now.
You got to take the context. Now, I don't mind Michael Parsons. Like I said, I know he's going into business and he's working both angles. Now, the context of this is this was right after the game. I'm still high. Oh, God. I'm still right. I'm sorry. That's my sister-in-law calling. Yeah. It's my sister-in-law calling about my wife. But listen. I am sure right after the game, everybody's still hyped. You're still looking at, wow, what a game that was. We put up 7. We had 7. We could have got 9. You're talking about all of that in the locker room. That's good. That means you're talking about what we just did, but we're also talking about what we should do next week. So I don't have any problem with where that's coming out right there. You got to give context to this, guys. We got to talk about where it's done. That's right after a game in the locker room. You still on cloud 12 talking about that performance.
Yeah, context is extremely important. After the game, locker room, we talking, looking at the stat sheet, said, man, we should have had 9 sacks. Man, I should have had $150. I don't know how I missed that pass.
200 yards.
Yeah, I should have had a 200.
Right.
Man, I should have 4 touchdowns. You have that conversation in the locker room. Okay, that's fine. But once you leave that locker room and you get to Monday and you watch the film or whatever, and then you get off on Tuesday, you get back to Wednesday, your focus now needs to be on the green team that's coming in at Texas Stadium.
So.
That's the focus. It shouldn't be on what happened in the past. It should be on improving with the team that's in front of you and trying to get to those 14 sacks. There's nothing wrong with feeling a certain way. You want to try to retain as much of that bravado as possible inside that locker room. Inside that locker room and on that field. As much as you can. Because you haven't done it yet. And until you do it, once you do it, it's okay to be Deion and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and talk that noise. It's okay to do all of those things. But until you get there, you want to try to retain that and not let Skip Bayless get a hold of it or somebody else get a hold of it and turn it into something bigger than what it truly is. That's the only time that I really have a problem with one saying something. Now, if you feel that you that dog and you feel your defense is legit like that and you go out there and you smack the Jets around, then you go ahead and you say something. Now you focus in on the next opponent. And that's how you approach it. That's how my defense that I was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice and Derek Brooks and company, Johnny Lynch and them, that's how they did it.
That's
and it was
all time.
But they're reaching for all-time success. They're reaching to become Seattle. They're reaching to become Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're reaching for that.
Okay, you guys played for this franchise, so you really get it. Michael really gets it. You played a couple of years. You felt it. You know what it feels like to be in the midst of it.
Yes.
I grew up lifelong diehard. I went to my first game at the old Cotton Bowl when I was 10 years of age. So I absorbed the history and the legacy of this franchise. All I know is it has been 27 years since we even got to the NFC Championship game, the last of which this man, Michael Irvin, played in 27 years ago. There's a long history and legacy of not being able to live up to being America's team. And I will never forget when that highlight film came out after the 1978 season, way before your times there. Drew Pearson was the original 88 in Dallas. And you want to talk about making big catches at big moments. He caught the Hail Mary from Roger Staubach and deserved to be in the Hall of Fame long before he finally got in it. But I called Drew Pearson at home the day after the highlight film came off, and it was called America's Team because NFL Films put that on them. They didn't ask to be America's Team. It was the title of the highlight film off that 78 season in which they got to the Super Bowl and lost to an even greater team, Terry Bradshaw's Pittsburgh Steelers. 35-31 in Super Bowl 13 down in Miami. My point is, Drew Pearson was outraged that they called Dallas America's team because he said, we didn't ask for it. Our target on our back just got even bigger than it is because people hate us enough already. And now we're claiming to be America's team. Well, they still are, because you watch what's about to happen. The top 5, 7, 8 games this year will feature, the top-rated games will feature the Dallas Cowboys, because everybody loves to hate or hates to love the Dallas Cowboys, whichever way it is. My point is, you have to be careful when you play for them, when you have that star on the side of your helmet, because you inspire such hatred on the part of your upcoming opponents. You have to be careful that you don't send the wrong message too quickly, because you can't live up to it. You did it one time on one big stage up in New York on opening night. I grant you that. The whole offseason I said, this is going to be the best defense in pro football. But you have to back it up enough that you don't be, again, I love bravado, but right now it still rings a little false, just a little false, because you think you're that good, but you're not sure you're that good.
So when you sit up here on Undisputed,
yeah,
and you run around with your pom-poms, talking about how great their defense is and how great this is, and great that is.
Yes.
You're not holding it back.
No, but I don't play.
That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem with Cowboy fans, and to a degree,
3 of those sacks from the last minute.
Don't say no, Key Michael. You know I'm telling the truth. You raise the expectations to a higher level, and then it comes a crashing down. You should sit tight and wait for it to develop.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
I'm not capable.
It was 3 sacks in the last 3 minutes.
If you're not capable, what makes you think they're capable?
Well, I'm infected, but I don't play. And I need a head coach or a leader in the locker room to say, let's just keep it down to a low roar and do it. Let's stack.
Look at that rate. They usually have 14.
You got an owner that keeps it at a high level in the roar. You have a Hall of Fame wide receiver that's on television every other day or every radio show chirping, so you gonna have people. You gonna have people going at you.
All I'm doing is answering the questions that are asked. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not bringing these questions to form. I'm not
surprised
putting
we're
these
not doing
questions
any
out
segments
there.
on tonight's
That's what
football
everybody
game.
wants to talk about. Listen, we're talking about it right now. Who we're talking about? Deion Sanders. We're going to talk more about Deion Sanders because that's who everybody wants to talk about. The Cowboys, everybody wants to talk about them. Now, to Drew's point, I understood back then in 78 when you said, oh, don't put that on us, everybody's going to come. But now, everybody's going to come because you are America's team. So there is no running, there is no hiding, there is only showing up and showing out and getting back to where you're supposed to be.
It doesn't even matter. Everybody's going to come for the Cowboys every game.
Me, are they gonna be a really
and this defense can get there. Yeah, this defense can get there, Key. This defense, they've been getting better and better. The piece they added, and I'm just going to go that one spot in Gilmore, that other corner, and that piece right there, and giving Trayvon
See, y'all doing it right now. You're doing it right now, Michael. You are doing it right now by saying, ooh, that one piece, they added in Gilmore. That one piece, they added in Gilmore. Ooh, this Dallas Cowboys. You doing it again. So you're setting yourself up for failure along with Skip, and you're setting yourselves up to be attacked by people when it starts to crash down.
No. We're pulling memories from yesterday and laying them on our hopes for tomorrow. We remember when we got a Charles Haley and how much that pushed us to go where we went after that. We're looking for the same, that extra piece, that piece that put us right there over the top. And Stephon Gilmore is that piece.
But nobody, when Charles Haley came there and Deion and all y'all was putting it together and winning them championships, y'all can say what y'all want to say.
Absolutely.
Because y'all was beating people's head in on a weekly basis. Come on now. I was the #1 overall pick trying to figure out how to play opposite of you in the draft. Trying to figure out how to get to Dallas. So when you look at it, that was then. This is now. It's different. It's a different situation. Y'all head coach was Jimmy Johnson. We just talked about the fact that there was a different standard. He cut a dude for fumbling in the game that you already had won.
The last game of the year.
The last game of the year, you already had clinched. He cut a guy. This is a different situation. All I'm saying that you and Skip are setting yourselves up for misery and failure. And when it comes to crashing down, let it marinate a little bit, man. Give it game 2,
Keyshawn,
3, and 4.
Time out.
We got the guys this year. We got the guys.
See, you had the guys last year.
Yeah.
According to you.
No. But they just served the meal. They gave you a main course of a burger, 40 burger, and a dessert on a 0 donut.
They gave you a 40 burger from one of the worst restaurants in New York City. What are you talking about?
Right. Without much offense, is that what you're saying? That means we should have scored 80.
No, I'm talking about how bad the burger was that they took in New York because nobody else wanted it. That's how bad they were.
By the way, I never found a bad restaurant in New York.
Well, there's a bunch of them.
Maybe I went to the wrong neighborhood.
There's a lot of good ones, but there's some bad ones, too.
All right, Keyshawn, listen. It was one game, one big bad beatdown, and DeMarcus Lawrence, who's been around, he's a veteran voice in that locker room.
Right.
He's talking about 14 sacks, the single game all-time record. It's not okay.
That's okay.
Because too many times last year, they go up to Minnesota and win 40-3. Indy comes on a Sunday night, and they outscore them 33-0 in the fourth quarter.
Goals
and what happened the next week? And what happened in the next week? It went ride the roller coaster.
Goals are okay, though. Skip, having a goal to get the most sacks in the season, or most sacks in the game, that's okay to have a goal.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm on record. I'm going to admit to you publicly. I am now more afraid of the Jets without Aaron Rodgers than I was with Aaron Rodgers. I wanted him. We were going to get even with him. We were going to get our revenge on him. I circled that game, second game of the year. This is it. He's 3-0 lifetime at Dallas. He's 8-2 against Dallas. We are going to put a stop to that in week 2, game 2. And now it's Zach Wilson. I'm more afraid of it because they're talking about 14 sacks, and the odds are they're human. They're going to show up.
They won't get 14 sacks against the Jets because he ain't going to be throwing the ball.
Okay, and furthermore,
they're going to be gashing one of y'all.
One thing about Zach Wilson, he doesn't get sacked a lot.
True.
He's athletic, and he does get rid of the ball sometimes for all the wrong reasons.
They're not going to be throwing a lot against. They're not going to be throwing a lot.
Yeah, but Gilmore, guys, let me just say that Stephon Gilmore understood. He understands how I think, put a team back on spot. Now, this is a dude that came up under Belichick, who Belichick comes up under Jimmy Johnson. He spends a couple weeks with Jimmy Johnson every year on that boat talking about methods and psychological ways to get on with your players and everything. Stephon Gilmore is taking this in the locker room. I'm not just talking about on the football field. I'm talking about having a guy like this. I talked about it with him this offseason about how to help keep a team leveled when they have great success, and how to help pick them up when they have some real failures. That's what this kid is. I wasn't just talking about on the football field, Keith. I'm talking about also off the football field and preparing for week after week, get the next game coming up. Gilmore, he got that from Belichick. He'll put that in the locker room.
Well, you hope he puts it in the locker room because right now, based on what Skip is saying, Skip doesn't like the bravado and all the talking and things of that nature. I don't mind it when the game is behind you and you're looking on to the next opponent and you feel a certain way. I'm okay with that. But when you start talking about the Giants, somebody that you already destroyed, and losing your focus, and I don't know that they're losing the focus on the task at hand at the New York Jets. Maybe that's just what they want to do psychologically. I have no idea because I'm not in the locker room right now. I know one thing, though, as I sit up here with you and Skip, y'all in this Cowboy stuff, y'all setting yourself up for failure. Because if it doesn't go according to your plan, oh, man, I hate to see what it's going to be like when it goes south. Because y'all are so entrenched in it, you have to remove yourself for a little bit. Let it marinate. It's one game. It's one game.
I never subscribed. I've never subscribed to the under-promise and over-deliver. No, I over-promise and over-deliver. And I want everybody on the football field. Over-promise and then over-deliver. And then I'm happy.
Look, Keyshawn, it's almost like overconfidence is a birthright in Dallas. It's like anybody who puts on that helmet.
Aren't you tired of that?
Yeah. Huh?
Are you not tired of that?
But I can't.
Are you not tired of coming here in week 9 and somebody saying to you, well, what happened to the Cowboys? After you spent 6 weeks with pom-pom.
Okay, but I've told you I'm an objective
Yeah,
Cowboy
those 6
fan,
weeks are
when
fun
they
because they
stink,
have
I will
pom-poms.
tell you they stink.
Well, when they stink,
They're happy.
they stink.
It's
You
6
can
happy
see it.
weeks.
Everybody can see it. It's almost like Josh Allen saying, well, it's my fault. Really?
Whereas they could just be unhappy for 6 weeks and then
You know what
again be unhappy
Keith,
as soon as they
Keith,
disappoint.
let me tell you, Keith, as when you are America's team, you're America's team, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to show up each and every week. You're telling me and all of America's team fans to lower our expectations?
Yes,
No.
I am.
You're telling
and
every
here's why
player
I'm telling you this. Because every year, Michael, you come in one of these studios and you, we did this, we gonna do that every single year. You know you do, so don't sit up and say you don't. And then at the end of the day, you and I are somewhere in one of these Super Bowls watching the Rams, Seattle's, just watching somebody at Philadelphia. It was like, well, what happened to the Cowboys? Oh, man, we gonna get it next year. You just take it easy.
So you're saying to motivate, I should predict 0-17?
No, you should relax and just enjoy the moment. Don't get out in
It's a
front of
40 and 0 moment. How are you supposed to? That's what we're doing. We're enjoying the moment. It's a 40 and 0 moment. That's a big moment to enjoy.
So you gonna hold on to 40. So in other words, you telling me you getting ready to hold on to 40 and 0 for the next 16 weeks? Let it go.
You're saying live in the moment. We will Sunday when the Jets hit the field. We're gonna let this go. But
Yeah,
until
but until then,
we gonna live in it. 40 to 0.
I'm pretty sure we will talk about this topic again here very shortly on Undisputed. But up next, I am very intrigued by this one. Will the NBA actually be able to stop stars from resting? Not today.
Yeah, this new rule is awesome. This is gonna get more people in NBA stadiums, I think.